Farming is the #1 industry in the state of Mississippi. This state is covered with field after field of commodities needed to keep the state and the nation fed. And without a doubt, close by those fields is one of these, a grain bin.
Everywhere you look, people are putting up bins, so it's a growing thing, sure is. And safety awareness is, oh gosh, it's the #1 thing.
In Calhoun County, where Perry Bailey is board president for the County Farm Bureau, he's seen these bins pop up across the 70 to 80 farms just in his own county. Those bins signify growth, not just here, but across the state. But they also could be a hazard.
I myself didn't know a couple years ago anything about them, and now we've had, a couple people to get hung up in them, and it's just safety is the #1 thing on one of these grain bins,
That's right. One false step and grain bins can be traps for farmers and farm hands. And most folks think they know how to get someone who's fallen in or been trapped out. But it turns out they don't.
Just some of the methods that people have taught each other over the years, they might not be right. For example, we've been to farms and they've heard that if anything was to ever happen, they'd wrap a rope under their arms and pull up. And when you realize how much pressure is on the body, and could be up to 600 pounds.
That's where Mississippi Farm Bureau has bridged the gap from misinformation to the correct way to remove someone from a potentially life-threatening situation inside a grain bin. This simulator, purchased by grant money from Monsanto, is only the second one like it in the country.
The way we've adjusted the program is we'll do 2 separate programs, one for the farmers, and it's more of a crash course on prevention. But if it is to happen, they need to know when to call first responders, and let's get them there right away.
Earlier this year, Calhoun County first responders put this program to the test, pulling a farmhand out of a grain bin. Turns out they already knew what to do because they had been in a training just like this one.
That's exactly right. I mean, you don't know what you need until you've been there and done that. I mean, if one life saved, that means a lot. I mean, because that person got to go home to his family.
On this day, it was Perry Bailey's daughter-in-law, Caitlin, who played the victim, a situation she wanted to experience because her husband is a farmer.
Because I have a family and my husband farms too, so I really got to see from what he deals with every day, if it's unplugging a grain bin or just the situations he has to deal with on a daily basis. It's very emotional, and you don't know if you'll be able to come home at night or not due to an accident. So
the vital piece of equipment in these rescues is this red safety tube. Once the tube is locked in place, the victim will get out. That's why the Mississippi Farm Bureau has started these training seminars free of charge across the state, and even purchasing the tubes in certain instances.
What we've noticed is when we first started, the tubes were mainly at grain storage facilities. And as we've been along doing the program more, they're starting to pop up more. Maybe a local farm bureau, they might purchase them, or a group of farmers get together and purchase one and just leave it in a central location. It's nothing that you ever want to use, but in case the instance was to ever come.
And each training is an eye-opener for farmers, farm hands, and those responders who are first on the scene.
The ropes and the tying off, and the loop to tie off on at the top of the bin to help stabilize the victim or whatever. We don't have any of that.
So is it something where you spend a little bit of money just to peace of mind at your farm, and then?
Yes, sir. Because most of mine's family that help me around the bins.
If you want this grain bin safety seminar for your farmers and first responders, call 601-977-4242.